everybody. Welcome into our weekly MMA-only episode of The Early Edge. I, of course, am your leader, the coach, and every single week we do Champions League, golf, and also MMA. Why? Because we're cashing tickets left and right, and we've got the absolute best MMA handicapper in the world at SportsLine. He's my guy, Ian Parker. You can follow him on social media, Ian Parker MMA. Let's bring him in right now because I've got to tout you. Before we start today, this week, PFL, which is tonight, Thursday when we're taping this, we had those picks on the regular Early Edge, Bellator Friday, UFC Saturday. Last week, you were damn near perfect across all the boards.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep that going today. There's definitely some value, and this is as loaded as it gets for MMA with the three organizations, and I guess we have a little surprise after as well.
We have a little surprise at the end for everybody. By the way, if there are any new MMA bettors that are watching right now, we try to keep it as simple as possible. Our bench number in MMA is minus 200. That is what we consider a higher odds. Anything over that, anything under that, we feel like we can play. It's a little bit different than football, basketball, baseball, and or hockey. Just so you know, educate, entertain. All right, let's get started with our board. Bellator, 5:30 Eastern prelims start on Friday. The main event starts at 10 Eastern. In the family on Showtime. Let's start with Lorenz Larkin, minus 195 favorite, taking on Rafael Carvalho, plus 165. These are middleweights. It's a prelim fight. What do you like?
I love that it's on the prelims. Get the night started. I like Lorenz Larkin here. It's going to be a kickboxing fight in an MMA surrounding. Larkin will be the faster, more technical striker. Takedown defense in case Carvalho shoots in. I like Larkin here.
Very good. Play number 2 on Archuleta, minus 175, taking on, it's a last name that we know very well, Sergio Pettis, plus 150 underdog. This is part of the main event. Bantamweight world title on the line. What do you like?
Sergio Pettis might be faster here, but I think Archuleta's wrestling, his athleticism, and his power is going to be too much. We've seen that in his last fight against another young fighter in Patchy Mix. I think Archuleta fight IQ will also be a little bit better here. He knows what he needs to do. I like him to be to retain his title.
All right, very good. Also, people are always asking this every single week. Duck, coach, give me a parlay I can sink my teeth into. All right, give me a 3-way parlay from Bellator that you like.
We're going to start with Patricky Freire. He needs this win. This is actually a blessing in disguise how low the odds are because he surprisingly lost in his last fight. He will be the better striker. He'll have the better ground game here. Look for him to knock it in a brawl with quality and get the win. Michael Venom Page against Derek Anderson. This is as simple breakdown as it gets. You can't take down Michael Page, you get knocked out. Michael Page should be able to win that fight against Anderson. And last but not least, Anthony Rumble Johnson, familiar name, was supposed to fight Yoel Romero, getting a late replacement in Augusto. Augusto is a tough guy, but inexperienced, and on 1 week's notice against Rumble Johnson, sorry, I like Rumble there. So you're going to have Rumble, Page, and Freire as the parlay.
And that's going to pay plus 128 when it hits. Okay, let's switch over now to the UFC. And the crazy thing about MMA is that it is fighting. That fights do come off the board. It's now a Rodriguez-Waterson main event. Tell the people why.
Originally, you were going to have the return of TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen, but around 10 days ago, TJ, I guess, caught a headbutt in training. The cut on the eye was too big to glue, so that fight got moved to June. And then we heard about Cowboy Cerrone versus Alex Morano, still not the main event. So then they decided to put together Rodriguez versus Waterson because Rodriguez is one of the top 5 in the division.
All right, very good. So we will move on accordingly. So your first play on the UFC side, Phil Haas, a plus 105 underdog, taking on Canelo-Saunders, minus 125. These are middleweights on the prelim card. What do you like?
I like Phil Haas as the dog here. He'll be the better striker, better athlete, stronger. My only concern for him is cardio. As we saw in the last fight, he was up 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, he started to fade, and he was starting to get worked a little. However, he should learn from that mistake. His wrestling takedown defense is very solid. Watch out for the ground game of Dawkins. Force the fight to stand. I like Haas to win that fight.
Very good. Moving on, the big boys, the heavyweights. Ben Rothwell, minus 110. Felipe Liens, also minus 110. This is a coin flip. Heavyweights final fight on the prelim card, but it's not a coin flip when we've got Ian Parker. What do you like?
Yeah, so coin flip for the odds, definitely not a coin flip for me here. Philip Lins came out from the PFL or the World Series of Fighting to the UFC. Underwhelming so far, has not won, hesitant striking, not using ground game, cardio's not looking good. Rothwell, the seasoned veteran, as long as he doesn't blow his gas tank early, he's got the ground game to back it up. He does have the output, and he's going to be the much larger man. I valued this at minus 180 for Rothwell, so I love Rothwell at minus 110.
Wow, 70 cents of value on that heavyweight matchup. I'm lighting that up. All right, let's move over to the ladies now. Amanda Ribas, you say 180, minus 180, taking on Angela Hill. This is a women's strawweight matchup. It's the first fight on the main card. What do you like?
Again, another blessing in disguise, odds-wise, because Ribas lost her last fight. Was dominating, then she got caught. This is someone who's probably the top prospect in the division. There's a path to victory against Angela Hill. Get this fight to the ground. Hill fights. She's like the Donald Cerrone of the women's division. You call her, she fights. You got to love her for that. But Ribas, black belt in judo, black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the better athlete, faster, will get this fight to the ground, learn from her mistakes. I love Ribas here at minus 180.
We have another straight play for you. When I tell Ian what to do, I say, just give me all the ones that you really, really like. And he did, which means you're getting tons of value this week because you have tons of picks. Talk to me about Jeff Neal minus 190 and Neil Magny plus 160. Technically, I think for the men, we could call this the main event. Yeah, sort of. What do you like in this matchup?
Well, look, we saw Jeff Neal after almost dying to kidney failure a year later fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He went the full 5 rounds, right? Neil Magny in his last fight was dominated by Michael Chiesa, went the full 5 rounds, did not get finished. This is going to be an interesting fight. Magny usually doesn't lose 2 in a row, and Neal's hasn't lost 2 in a row in God knows how long. However, in a 3-round fight, both guys' cardio will be there. Striking, I think Magny's going to try and clinch and wrestle him and really try to tire him out. So I really do like the over here at 2.5.
All right, very good. Now, I'm going to make you give me another parlay from the UFC, something to sink my teeth into for the entire night on Saturday.
Absolutely. So the first leg of the parlay, Ludovic Klein, just a better, well-rounded fighter. I don't see any danger here with him. As long as he doesn't get sloppy and just get too cute with his moves, he should be totally fine to cruise to victory here. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, he is fighting Maurice Green. Green is the most hesitant striker I have since the Contender Series. Literally does not throw punches. He gets tired. He gives up mid-fight all the time. Lima will come out the gate swinging. He also has a ground game if he needs to submit Green. Unless Green lands a punch in the first 30 seconds, where that's only where his power makes any sense, I don't see it happening. Look for Lima to get the win there. And then the last leg of the parlay from our main event, Marina Rodriguez against Michelle Waterson. Waterson is already small for the 115 weight class. She's going up to 125. We just saw Rodriguez knock out Amanda Ribas. Listen, the path to victory for Waterson is to get the fight to the floor. Rodriguez's takedown defense has improved tremendously. If this becomes a stand-up battle, which it will, Rodriguez outstrikes her and gets the win.
And that's going to return at plus 220. We've seen so many times in that 115 to 135 that when fighters, female or male, try to move up, they just don't have the power and the size to make it work. Okay, a little bonus for everybody. Saturday, I'll be doing Early Edge live from Dallas, Texas. That's because I will be in attendance at Canelo Álvarez, Billy Joe Saunders. It's going to be the biggest, I believe, boxing crowd maybe in the history of Texas. I just saw, I don't want to say in the history of what, but it's going to be big, and I will be there. But I want you to handicap this boxing match coming up, or boxing fight, whatever you want to call it, coming up on Saturday. Canelo Álvarez, minus 800 favorite. Billy Joe Saunders, he traveled a long way for this one, plus 550. It starts around 11 p.m. Eastern time. It's late, but we're here for it. Give it to me.
Minus 800, just like we talk about in MMA, way too tough. And we can't parlay Canelo with the other ones, and we don't need to because there's 2 other ways to do this. So I like Canelo to win by decision. Billy Joe Saunders' style, he bounces around a lot. Speed, his style is what's actually given Canelo the most amount of, if you want to call it, problems. And when I mean problems, not being able to knock people out. That's why I like him to win by decision because I still think Canelo wins this fight. But Sanders hasn't been finished. And this is, again, his style doesn't really give guys that opportunity. Canelo's power will be a factor, but if you can't hit the guy as much, less opportunity to knock him out. I like over 10.5 rounds here as well. Like I said, I think the fight goes to a decision. I think Canelo wins. Those are my 2 plays if you want to go ahead and bet on the boxing fight.
All right, and we're going to, because that's what we do. All right, we're up against it. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. This is the fullest recap we've ever had, and I'll rip right through it. Larkin, Archuleta, then the parlay, Johnson, Page, Freire, plus 128 on that parlay. Then on UFC, Haas, Rothwell, Hebas, the over in Magny Neal. Then the parlay there, Klein, Rodriguez, and De Lima, plus 220. And then a little bonus pick for you, Canelo Álvarez by decision, plus 150, over 10.5 rounds, minus 152. And follow us on social media. I guarantee you I'll be posting videos and all kinds of fun stuff on our SportsLine Instagram page on Saturday night. All right. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the MMA pay window for the Duck, Ian Parker, for the jeweler who puts it all together. I'm the coach. Big 3 days for us. Let's go. PFL, Bellator, UFC, the only place for your MMA early edge. Let's go. Good luck.